Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at the Hollywood Rack's Destination E 2-bike platform rack right here on our 2022 Toyota RAV4 Prime. So the Hollywood Rack's Destination E is designed especially for those electric bikes. You have that ramp included with this bike rack. You have a great weight capacity of 70 pounds per bike, and you have a very unique tilting away feature. We'll talk about those features, but we are going to focus on our RAV4 here today so you can see how it works for the vehicle and then get the best fit for you, your different types of bikes, and your car. So the very first feature we'll talk about is the tilt away feature. And this is going to be very unique. You first have this knob in the back that you need to rotate. Once you have that loose, you just push that forward just like that. And while other bike racks immediately pretty much drop on you once you release the lever, here this gives you time to get yourself set up, and then when you're ready to go, you just push this out, and you can even use the car to brace. So this is going to be great if you have up to 140 pounds worth of bikes on there. And why would you tilt your bike rack away? Well, if you want to open up your hatch. So you can see here how we have plenty of clearance between the door and our bike rack, meaning we can get into our trunk, grab whatever we need, whether it's our helmets, our bags, our waters, and then once we got them, just lower the hatch and lift the bike rack back up. So this is just gonna lift up and into place, and once it's up there, go ahead, put that knob back in and tighten that back down. So compared to other racks where I have to be careful with all the bikes going towards me when I tilt it away, this one I don't have to worry about that. So I talked about how we have a 70-pound weight capacity per bike, and that's because of the way things are strapped down. We have 1, 2, 3 wheel straps, and we have a frame mount as well. And then you also have a wheelbase of 50 inches. So whether you have your extra long mountain bikes or you have your extra heavy electric bikes of up to 70 pounds, you can carry it. So what we're going to do is we are going to take the wheel straps off first before we take the frame mount off. So it just involves pressing the lever to disengage the strap, and then you can lift the strap up and out of the way. So press the lever and lift up on the strap. The downside to this is that it does take a bit more time than some of your other electric bike racks. So compared to something like the Kuat NV, where it's just the front wheel mount and a single strap, this is going to be a little bit more time spent at the trail prepping your bike to take it off. Once your straps are released, you are now ready to set up the ramp. And I really like this because it's a good heavy duty ramp. You just loosen that knob and then that releases. You clip that onto the end of the bike rack, and now that's in place and ready to go. We do have our RAV4 parked up near the wall though, so you won't be able to fully ramp the bike down, but it's still nice to see how it works. Now I'm going to loosen the frame mount. So notice how there's a lock on that frame mount, meaning you can secure your bikes to the bike rack. Once you have that lock, you won't be able to loosen it, so don't forget to unlock it as you release that clamp around the frame. That clamp design also means that you can carry bikes of different shapes and sizes. You just have to find the best spot for you. Once that clamp is released, you just ramp the bike down and you're ready to go. I'll just show you how it works, but from here, I'm just gonna lift our bike up and away. All right, so if we leave our bike over here to the side, we get to take a closer look at the bike rack itself. Notice the way everything's designed. Like our other Hollywood Rack Destination bike racks, you have those wings for cradles. You have this extra chalk for your front wheel mount, which gives you that extra stability and grip. The maximum tire size you can actually carry with this is going to be up to 4.5 inches with how long the straps are. And don't forget to make sure that rubber piece on top is centered over your wheels for that extra grip and cushion on those wheels. So with all 3 straps put away, we're just going to get our ramp and put this away too. Another downside to this bike rack is you can't have the ramp attached to the bike rack. So if you want to bring your ramp with you, you're going to have to remember to keep it inside of your car, in your trunk, or in your hatch. So compared to the Yakima on-ramp, which has the ramp attached to the bike rack itself, this is just something you're going to have to remember. Now, before we do anything else, let's take some quick measurements. First is going to be how much length is added to the back of our RAV4. I'm going to measure from our bumper to the end of the rack. That's going to be 29.5 inches. So this is a measurement to keep in mind when you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a really tight spot. Another measurement is going to be ground clearance. So first, at the end of the wings, our measurement is 15 inches. At the center of the rack, it's 19 inches, but compare that measurement to the shank here, which is only 10 inches. So your RAV4 Prime doesn't really have much ground clearance. When you go up those steep inclines, like those driveways or hills, it's a good thing this has that shank rise, so your bikes are higher up off the ground. But another thing to know with ground clearance is when you do have these 70-pound bikes, how high are you lifting them up? This is pretty low to the ground, so it shouldn't be that difficult, but still, the ramp will come in handy for that. Now, what if we don't plan on going out for a bike ride just yet, but you also don't want to take the rack off because it is kind of heavy? What we can do is fold this up into the portable position. So first, we need to move this mast down or fold it down. So we have these two levers on this side, and they're held in place by these rubber straps. So again, a little bit of an extra process here. But once those straps are released, you just lift those or push those levers out, and then now you're free to bring this down. Notice how your frame mounts will have to be adjusted back and forth just to get the best fit for you in order to fully secure them. But once you have your mast down, don't forget to fold those levers back in and put those straps in as well. Once that's out of the way, you're actually able to open up your hatch door with it in the down position. But we won't do that since we are going to fold this rack up. So we have this clip here, and we have this pin. So remove the pin. The clip is out of the way. Flip up and out, and then the pin can come out. Once that pin is out, you are then able to lift up on your rack and then put that pin right back in there to secure it. So again, you have all these different features to give you that extra weight capacity. It does just take a little bit of extra time. But let's take some measurements with it folded up in the compact position. The first measurement we're going to take a look at is closest point. You can see with it folded up, it looks like it comes close to our vehicle, but we actually have a clearance of 3 inches between the two, so we're not worried about making any contact there. The next measurement we'll take a look at is the length now added. So from the bumper to the end of the rack, it's 13 inches, so a little bit over a foot. So definitely a big difference compared to when this is folded down. You'll want it in this position when you're just planning on driving around town and you don't want to take up too much space. But what is it like living with a bike rack behind you all the time? Well, with it folded up like this, you can see how the mast does not go over our rear windshield wiper. So we have full visibility through our rear window. Our taillights are not covered at all, so that's good to see. Our license plate is covered, and our backup camera, while offset to the driver's side, is actually right where our clamp is. So if that happens, you may have to adjust your clamp over to the side to give yourself a little bit of extra view there. And what's going to happen is when you do go into reverse, you will be able to see through your backup camera, but you'll also see the bike rack obscuring some of your view. If that's going to be a big issue for you, you can just drive around with it in the down position though. Now, let's talk about how this fits into the hitch. So we have a 2-inch shank, which fits right into our 2-inch hitch receiver. We have a pin and a lock. That lock is actually key to the locks on our frame mount. That way we only need to use one key to access both the bikes and the bike rack. And the way this tightens down is we have this lever here that's tightening on the pin in our hitch receiver, creating an anti-rattle effect. So let me demonstrate how that works. As I shake our bike rack back and forth to try to simulate the road movement and vibration, I'm mainly moving the vehicle. There might be a little bit of up and down motion, but it's nice and secure. If you do feel like there's extra movement, just double check right where you tilt away and see if that's loose or not. But other than that, I'm a big fan of the Hollywood Rack's Destination E. I think it's really a heavy duty bike rack for heavy duty bikes, especially with how it tilts away. It is pretty impressive here on a RAV4 with how much space we have between the vehicle and the bike rack. I like it. Now, if you have, let's say you always forget your ramp and you want to have a bike rack that has a similar weight capacity, but the ramp is included on the rack, you may want to take a look at the Yakima on-ramp instead. That has less weight capacity at 66 pounds per bike and has a slightly different method of loading and unloading the bikes, but it does work similarly to the Destination E. I am still a huge fan of the Destination E for how well it works with making sure your bikes are nice and secure. So that right here was a look at the Hollywood Rack's Destination E 2-bike platform rack on the 2022 Toyota RAV4 Prime.